All right, JD here. I hope you actually enjoyed this video. It's a different kind of format I did this time. I just went through the whole watchmaker's desk, I'm going to call it, and I completely reassembled this beautiful Elgin pocket watch. Let me just get a little bit of a close-up for you here. So this is the pocket watch here. It's a gorgeous old pocket watch. I put a bit of peak on it. That's the material I use. It's pretty easy to get at your hardware store for shining it. Don't put too much on because it'll take away the gold. But there it is there. And a few things I did here. So one of the things is that I had to play. This is an old watch. You can see the gold's even worn off it, but it's a gorgeous movement. The banking pins were off. So you can see it's running really strong now. It's running around 260 right now, I think. The bead air is off just a bit, and it's running a tiny bit slow, but everything is running fine. So these are, I believe these are brass screws. So all the screws on this are shined brass screws, every one of them, which is really nice. Even the screw keeping the pallet fork in place was a brass screw, and even the upper balance cock jewel, upper jewel, cap jewel screws are brass as well. So, and even here, so they did a lot of work on this. Even though it's a 17 jewel, it's adjusted to 4 positions, and it is a railroad grade watch. So it has a lever set adjusted to 4 positions, and it's railroad grade. It's a beautiful movement. So I did a lot of work with the banking pins. And if you don't know how to play with banking pins, then don't play with banking pins. But just a brief thing is if you can manage to get the banking pins equal on both sides and then edge them inward, and you'll get the proper unlocking and locking when you're doing that. But if you play with them too much, you can ruin the banking pins. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't fart with the banking pins. But if you do know what you're doing, you can get an incredible increase in amplitude. Like for example, if the pallet fork is swinging one way and it could have gone a bit further in its strength, but the banking pin stopped it, you're going to lose amplitude. It's got to go far enough to allow the impulse jewel to fly out of the mouth of the pallet fork, but not too far in that it's not touching on that side, hitting the banking pin on that side. So it's tricky. So read up on banking pins, but this movement is a gorgeous old Elgin movement. I just love the all the brass screws, just unusual, and the gold settings. So quite a high-end pocket watch for a 17 jewel pocket watch. I'm going to look up the number in a second, but you can look it up and see yourself. The number is 2356089. I'll just spin this around for a second. There it is there. 2356089. So you can look that up in the Pocket Watch database app and see what this thing is, when it was made. So I did a very fast video here today, so you wouldn't have to watch me working away. But this is what I typically do on a bench, and when I'm not talking. I clean the face up a bit. I used pegwood too to scrape off some dirt on the face, just remove it, and then Rodico to clean up the leftovers. I did apply 9415, excuse me, on the feet of the escapement wheel, which is what you're supposed to do. And I applied it to every second foot in the escapement wheel, just a little tiny bit, not a lot, because if you put too much on there, it'll kill your watch. So I did that. What else did I do on this thing? I think that's about it. But it's a beautiful watch. It's running now. It's mine. So again, thanks for watching my channel. There it is. And I hope you enjoyed this video.